Well, you knew this one was coming. The new bottled and bond wheated bourbon from Bardstown Bourbon Company versus Maker's Mark 101 versus Weller Antique versus Wilderness Trail. 4 wheaters, around 100 proof, going head to head. It's not a double base, it's a quadruple base. What's up, folks? I'm Jason C, and welcome back to the Mash and Drum. Like, subscribe, share, and help grow the channel for 2023. Welcome to today's double bass episode, or quadruple bass, I should say. And again, if you have any suggestions for some head-to-head matchups, leave them down below in the comments. Let's learn a little bit more about today's matchup. First up, from Bardstown Bourbon Company, their new wheated bottled and bond presents the best locally sourced corn and wheat grain in this 6-year-old straight bourbon whiskey. This bourbon features 20% wheat in the mash bill. This Origin Series bottled and bond is presented at 100 proof for its suggested retail price of about 50 bucks. Next up is Maker's Mark 101, which was once only available on a limited basis, but Maker's Mark 101 sits proof-wise between the standard Maker's and the Maker's Mark cast strength. With the Maker's standard mash bill of 60 corn, 26% red winter wheat, and 14% malted barley. This is supposed to be 4+ years old and available for about 40 bucks. Third is Weller Antique 107, sometimes Old Weller Antique, sometimes just OWA. It's one of 3 bottles that were at one time available everywhere, which included Weller Special Reserve and Weller 12-year. Weller is a line of wheated bourbons originally created by the Stitzel-Weller Distilling Company and now owned by Buffalo Trace. Weller Antique is bottled at 107 proof. It's an NAS, but set to be about 6 to 8 years old and priced at retail for about 50 bucks. The folks at Wilderness Trail have recently made some changes. First, their core products are all now small batch bottled and bond whiskeys. Therefore, the original single barrel strength rye and single barrel bottled and bond wheated bourbons are now 100 proof small batch bottled and bond whiskeys. The small batch wheater from Wilderness Trail is 20 barrels or less, and the barrels in these batches will range anywhere from 5 to 6 years old. Mash bill 64% corn, 24% wheat, and 12% malted barley. Barrels are toasted, char levels number 4, and barrel entry proof is 110 with a price of about 57 bucks. Now, I do not have a small batch bottle of the Wilderness Trail wheated bourbon, but it's the same mash bill and it's the same proof. Okay, while I get these poured, let's hear from today's sponsor, Original Grain, the perfect gift for a loved one this Valentine's Day. All right, guys, let's talk about Original Grain. They have been making watches from unique materials for almost a decade. I'm a watch guy, and when I heard Original Grain was making watches, sunglasses, rings, and a lot more inlaid with whiskey barrel wood, I was immediately hooked. Their Whiskey Barrel series is crafted with reclaimed American oak bourbon barrel wood. You could see the barrel wood in each detail of the watch. So we have 2 things here. 1, they have many different colors and options to match up with your personal style. 2, this is the perfect gift for Valentine's Day that does not break the bank. It's personal, thoughtful, makes an absolutely great impression. Now, even though I love these watches inlaid with whiskey barrel wood, they have a lot more. It's not just whiskey barrels. They have options made from Taylor guitars, tequila barrels, beer barrels, military ammo crates for anyone with a military background. They even make watch bands inlaid with different materials for Apple Watches. For all you Buffalo Trace fans out there, they recently just launched a limited edition collection in collaboration with Buffalo Trace to inlay their watches with reclaimed Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels with a hand-torched finish. They're beautiful. So no matter what you or your Valentine resonates with, there is a perfect gift for you and any loved one. On top of all that, it's 100% money back guaranteed, veteran and family owned, free shipping, and a great warranty. Here's how you get yours before Valentine's Day. Go to originalgrain.com/mash or click the link below in the description and use code MASH at checkout. They are currently running a 20% off promotion for Valentine's Day, but using my link and code will give you an extra 10% off, so that makes it a total of 30% off, a huge discount for a beautiful gift. Now go shopping and get your Valentine something to remember. Cheers. All right, guys, so I'm gonna just give my ratings here on nose, palate, and finish. Because there's 4 of them, I'll just rate which one I like the best out of all 4 since it's a quadruple base here. I get a lot of questions on why don't I use clear glasses so you guys can see the color of the whiskeys. I don't like to see the color of the whiskeys because of production, because of barrel, because of all the different factors that go into aging a whiskey and a bourbon. The colors can be very different, and I don't want to be swayed by the color in knowing what's in the glass. So that's why I use Batman glasses, as I call them. All right, this should be good. Let's go into the nose real quick through all 4 of these. This one's extremely sweet and also extremely wheat forward. I get a lot of that wheat grain in here. I feel like some of that will happen in all 4 of these, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, heavy on the wheat grain here. It's almost like a cereal type thing, like a cereal note. Very typical vanilla caramel here, guys. Nothing that's jumping out of the glass is something super unique. Let's go to the second one. All right, this one's a lot more fruit forward. This is a little bit better on the nose, a little bit more interesting. A lot of citrus, almost lemon, almost like peachy in a way too. Maybe a little strawberry in there too. Oh, that's what it is, it's strawberry. Like a ripe strawberry in the second one here. Oh, that smells great. All right, second nose is already better than the first one. Let's go to the third one here. Third one is almost like a little bit of a mustiness to it, but not in a bad way. It's almost got like a dusty funk to it. Definitely sweet. Again, vanilla caramels, but nothing that's jumping out of the glass as like far as, yeah, a lot of that wheat grain in here too. Okay, so far I think my favorite nose is number 2. All right, let's go to the last one. Ooh, this one gives you, ooh, this one has like a jamminess to it. There's something very sweet, fruit forward here. Man, between 2 and 4, I think these are the best noses. Yeah, 2 and 4 have these real fruit forward, heavy vanilla, heavy caramel. It's just a little bit more interesting than 1 and 3. Oh yeah. So number 2 and number 4 for me for the nose. If I had to give it to a winner, I'm gonna have to go with 2. 2's nose just punches you in the face with all that strawberry jam. Oh man, that is really good. We'll see if it translates to the palate. All right, so far 2 is the winner on the nose. Let's try the first one. Gosh dang it, that's weedy. That's like eating a bowl of Wheaties. Wheaties cereal. Man, I don't remember any of these being that wheat forward, but I mean, maybe the Maker's Mark is. But I haven't had that Maker's Mark 101 in a long time, so I'm not really sure if that's it or not. But man, this is very, I mean, wheat grain to the max, almost like wheat bread. A little bit of spice, a little bit of oak there on the back end. Again, your typical vanilla caramel. Not the most complex, but very straightforward. Just a good wheater. I mean, really nothing wrong with that one, but there's also nothing that's really standing out about it. All right, let's go to number 2, which I love the most on the nose. Actually, nice little finish on the first one too. All right, let's go to the second one here. Second one on the palate too. Second one on the palate is a little bit more oak driven, a little bit more fruit driven, and it's got this sneaky little spiciness to it. A little bit of floral quality to it on the palate. Second sip came out very sweet, but it's a little, I mean, wheaters are supposed to be easy sippers, so I can't really fault it for being too easy. I think there's a little bit more spice going on in the first one than the second one, but the second one I think just has a more developed flavor profile. There's just more going on with it. So if I have to, even going from the palate, I think I still prefer number 2 over number 1 a little bit. All right, let's go number 3 here. Now, number 3 was a little bit musty on the nose. Yeah, there is not much going on with 3. 3 is just very meh. It's fine. There's just not a lot going on. I think 1 and 2 are more interesting than 3. There's a nuttiness characteristic to 3 that I'm picking up. And on top of that wheated profile, it's actually coming off a little drying. So I'm not digging that at all. Man. I mean, I haven't had all 4 of these back to back yet, so this is interesting tasting. Let's go to the 4th one, which I really loved on the nose. Here we go. Again, really sweet. Almost like cotton candy on the palate a little bit. Oh, man. I think just based on what I'm liking from number 1, 2, and 4, you know, I think the 3rd one, I'm gonna automatically shoot to last place here. So I'm just gonna leave that to the side. I really wasn't crazy about it on the nose, and I really wasn't crazy about it on the palate. So that one I'm just gonna push off here, just kind of get it out of the way. But man, when it comes to palate, I mean, I like 2. Well, let me separate this so I don't lose my count here. I like 2 the most on the nose. When it comes to palate, all 3 of these are doing something. The first one is the most wheat forward. There's a lot of wheat grain on it. And while I like that, I just want more from it. I want more from it, but I do like it more than that one. But this one actually might have the best finish out of all 4. So if the first one gets any points, it's gonna be on finish, I think. Because I think it has the longest finish out of all 4 from what I've tasted so far. So I'm gonna actually put that 3rd. But nose and palate, it's down to these 2. Man. The nose on number 2 is so fruit forward. I love it. I can't get over that jamminess. But man, that is an easy sipping bourbon. Let's go to the 4th one. So the 4th one to me is more rounded, and I think it's slightly more balanced. There's a good finish on it too. I think there's a slight heft to it. That's a little bit more interesting. Let's go back to number 2 here. I really don't know which one I like more. They're very different, but they offer different experiences. Number 2 is very sweet, very fruit forward. It's got a nice finish. It's an easy sipping whiskey, but I feel like there's this burst of flavor. And I'm not sure if I'm getting that from the 4th one. The 4th one's very good too though, but it's more rounded, but it's lacking like punch of flavor compared to number 2. I'm gonna have to give it to number 2. I think 2 is my first place winner, and I have no idea what it is. Yes! This is what I'm talking about. All right, so here's the lineup. So my favorite's 2. Second play, very, very close second, is number 4. Number 1 is 3rd place, and number 3 is last place. So let's find out what last place was. This was kind of was a little musty, not much going on, just simple. And this is, no shit, the Maker's Mark 101. Maker's Mark 101 gets last here. Like I said, I haven't had this bottle in a minute, and this one just didn't do it for me today. Again, that weeded profile is there, but it's just very 1, 2, maybe 3 note, very singular. Not much going on. All right, this is where it gets interesting. This was number 1, which is that super wheat forward one. Now I'm wondering if that was the Bardstown, being a little bit of a younger whiskey. And it is, no shit. Okay. This is the Wilderness Trail. Wilderness Trail with the super grain forward profile in today's blind, at least to me. Again, this is a single barrel, not the small batch, but same mash bill, 100 proof. It's good, but like I said, this might have had the best finish out of all 4 of these. The finish really gave a nice spice to it. But this was a really good weeder, but it just was lacking in some other flavors that I was getting for the first 2. So it comes down to Weller 107 and the Bardstown Origin Series, which I was hoping it would come down to, because I really want to see how good that Bardstown Origin Series is. So let's see what went out. Second place. No shit. For me today, The Bardstown Origin Series takes out Weller Antique. Now, Weller Antique is a very, 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 very close second place. I mean, it was right there. But, I mean, come on. You know, people have been talking about how good this weeder is, and this is the reason I wanted to do this blind, because I really want to find out if it was that good. And it's that good. I'm telling you, the punch of fruit flavors that you get off this, it comes off like a strawberry raspberry jam. I did say the Weller Antique is a little bit more rounded, which I still believe it is. I think there's a little bit of a higher age whiskey in the Weller Antique. When you taste them head to head, you could definitely feel that there's some older whiskey in the Weller Antique. I think these two can interchange any day of the week as far as one or the other, what my favorite's gonna be. But when it comes down to it, if you cannot find Weller Antique or, you know, Weller Special Reserve, Weller Full Pro, whatever you're trying to find from the Weller series, this new Bardstown Bourbon Company Origin Series, that's a hell of an alternative right there. I'm telling you. Hell of a blind. This was a lot of fun. Damn. Bardstown. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the suggestion from a patron for doing all 4 of these in a blind. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that subscribe button below. Please hit the like button. If you haven't yet, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. Let me know down in the comments if this surprised you at all. Have you put the Origin Series up against some other weeders? I think there's still a few more I want to put this up against to see how it does. So make sure you leave a comment down below with any other suggestions. And like I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. We're going to blend all these, and I believe it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible. Nose is not good. That's a terrible blend. Terrible blend. All right, I'm going to have to go drink something to get that out of my mouth. Cheers, guys. See you next time right here on the Mash and Drum.